Our topic tonight is leadership, and I am absolutely fascinated by this subject. What is this power that suddenly emerges between the leader and the led? And what is it that makes these people want to follow that leader? And why is it that we so often find ourselves in situations where leadership is rather repelling us than attracting us? These are important questions because we all long for good leadership. There is one point I would like to make. When we think of great leaders, usually historically important people come to our mind. I think of people like Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Winston Churchill, and here in Finland, Carl Gustav Mannerheim. But you don't have to be like one of these greater-than-life heroes to be a good leader. When I look around, I see examples of brilliant leadership all around. Take a teacher who spellbinds his pupils, or a mother of 3 who brings up her kids with love and discipline. I have one special picture in my mind. That is my 12-year-old grandchild, Matilda, who one hot summer weekend leads her 4 younger cousins in harmonious play. She had the touch of an angel. So my point is, we have leadership all around, every day. And all of us are from time to time called upon to take the lead and become leaders. And all of us have the seed inside us to be great, to be inspirational leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to meet one great modern leader and teacher, Sri Ravi Shankar. And to you, Shishi, I want to say welcome to Finland and welcome to this group. We are proud to have you here, and we are full of expectations. Let's give it a hand.
Thank you for your beautiful welcome. I think you have summarized all that I wanted to say about leadership. And wonderful, nice to be with you all in Finland today. Now this evening, we'll discuss something dear to all our hearts. You know, to discuss something very close to us, we need to be in an informal atmosphere, at home, you know. So I would like you to feel at home, and any questions that you feel in your mind, that crosses your mind, just put forward, and if I know something about it, then I'll speak about it. Okay? Is that all right? Now, leadership. As just you heard, a 12-year-old girl is a leader. I would say every child is a good leader. Because in fact, the boss of the house is a baby. You know, everyone listens to the baby. As it was mentioned just a little earlier about Mahatma Gandhi, I would like to share a story about Mahatma Gandhi. You know, my teacher was a close associative of Mahatma Gandhi. Pandit Sudhakar Chaturvedi, he was traveling with Mahatma Gandhi, writing letters for him, and he also taught Mahatma Gandhi the Bhagavad Gita. So he told me a story, a beautiful story. Let me begin with an incident. Once, Mahatma Gandhi was traveling with a group of people. Group of people means in India it's very big. So he was traveling in the train. So the train was moving in the hill, and suddenly the engine got itself detached from the coaches. All the coaches, they started sliding backward. It took a little while for people to understand that the train is going back and it's gaining momentum because of the gradient. So there was chaos, everybody was screaming and praying, and they don't know, you can't jump out of the train because it's on the, if the train falls down, you can't even get the bones, it's so deep, thousands of meters high in the Himalayas. So there was panic everywhere. When there was panic, Mahatma Gandhi was saying to my teacher, take down the notes. He was dictating, take down the dictation, come on, read me the other letter, let me give the answers. So Mahatma Gandhi didn't know the South Indian languages, so my teacher was an exponent of South Indian language. So he used to take the dictation and translate. Those days phones were not very common, were very rare, and if you want to make a phone call, you have to sit and wait for 3-4 hours. By the time you could have gone to that place and come back. So that thanks to Nokia today, every village has cell phone in India. So Mahatma Gandhi started dictating letters. My teacher said, Bapu, do you know what is happening? Are you aware of the situation? There is no guarantee we will be alive in half an hour or 10 minutes, only matter of seconds and minutes, any time the train can fall. Because there is no engine, there is nobody, no driver. Mahatma Gandhi said, suppose we are saved, you would have wasted all this time in anxiety. So let us write whatever happens, happens. Let us not waste any moment in our work. That was the lesson that he gave. Even in those moments of utter danger to life, a person like Mahatma Gandhi was bent upon doing his job moment to moment, caring for people, serving for people. I was very much inspired by these type of stories. We grow up thinking, learning this. Today, what we find as leaders or heroes in classrooms, in schools and colleges, unfortunately are those who want to be very aggressive. Aggression got itself linked to pride. This is unfortunate. Don't you think so? Compassion and equanimity, love and caring need to be attached with pride. And this is what was happening when we were growing up. When I was in school or college, if somebody loses the temper and shouts, people would say something wrong with this person, he has to calm down. Because calm and pleasant state of mind was considered to be the quality of a leader. A leader, one who can take on the stress of others and give back smile to them, was considered the quality of leadership. We have heard many stories of Lord Buddha. The calmness was unshakable, was solid. Same with Bapu, Mahatma Gandhi. A very, very well-founded mental state where nobody can shake and remove the equanimity. You would find maybe in your business and companies, those managers who just were not emotionally going up and down, but are dealing with an equanimous mind, can take challenges and handle them better. Those who are not impulsive, their perception is better, their expression is better, and their observation is better. This is what I would expect of a leadership which has better perception, observation, and a beautiful expression. What do you say? Psychologists today say that the attention span of people are becoming less and less and less and less now, because of, we watch so much of television, watching television so much, the mind is bombarded with too many impressions, so it is unable to focus so very often. Children have this attention deficiency syndrome. The mind is relaxed, then attention span increases. If you observe for you on your own, a Sunday morning when you wake up, see how sharp the mind is, there is more attention. But on a Thursday night or Wednesday night, or just in the evening when you come back from work or very tired, see the attention span is much less. So a leader is one who has a large attention span and has patience to hear to the person. And also put himself in the shoe of the other person and see the point of view from the other side as well. I would call this as a multi-dimensional understanding of a situation, event, or a personality. See an event or instance from this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, then you get a holistic picture. And the next point I would say in a leader is he doesn't assume to be a leader. He becomes one among everybody. He doesn't think he is somebody great, he is somebody better than everybody else. No, he thinks part of everybody. A sense of belongingness with everyone makes one a better leader than someone thinks, I am different, you are different. I know better than you. Those type of attitude cannot bring up good leadership. What do you say? You agree with me? Same happens in any setup, in any business setup. Say suppose you go to your factory, your office, your business, there is a clerk who is working day and night for you. If you take just 1 or 2 moments to personally wish them, interact them, or deal with them, that human relationship, developing that human relationship with people as being one among them is another quality, I would say, of a leader which is very necessary. Now, how to achieve it? This is a question, because we all are very busy, we have so many things to do. Now, how do we achieve this leadership, or how do we bring this in our environment setup? For this, I would say we have to expand our consciousness, our mind, through relaxation. Relaxation is absolutely essential. Celebration, relaxation, sense of belongingness, and updating ourselves time to time with different skills is another area, avenue, that we should never stop doing. So I would say that everyone is a perpetual student all their life. This is another quality of a leadership. A leader never stops learning. He thinks he is a perpetual student, and he learns from everybody, from a child even. I was so touched when you were mentioned, in the beginning you mentioned us about how that you learn from a child How a child is a good leader? Absolutely. If we observe a baby from the time a baby is born till the age of 3, you know, a baby does lot of exercises which we don't do. In fact, a baby does all the yoga exercises. You don't need a yoga teacher if you observe a baby. Every one of us have done yoga. All of us have done the yoga exercises. See, child is born in the beginning, child does like this and then goes on the tummy and lifts the leg up and put one hand on the floor and raises another hand up. If you observe all the postures, and yoga is developed like that. Yoga means making you a child again from within, full of enthusiasm, joy, smile, and a sense of belongingness with everybody. So the way a child breathes is much different from the way we breathe. As adults we breathe. You know, our breath is linked to our emotions. You know, we feel upset, we feel unhappy, we feel agitated. We don't know how to get rid of these bad feelings which we don't want to have. Here, our breath offers us a most precious secret. Understanding a few rhythms and patterns of breath will be able to get rid of those negative emotions. We have a control over how we feel. You know, often we say, oh, I feel bad, as though we are victim of our feelings, as though we can't do anything about our feelings. But our breath gives us the secret to handle our feelings, our emotions, whether it is anger, frustration, tiredness, stress, depression, any tendencies which are not life supporting, we can change them by changing our own breathing pattern in 5-10 minutes. And Art of Living has been very successful because this methodology is being taught in the world. You know, today 27% of Europe is reeling under depression. I was invited a couple of years back by the Psychologist Congress of Europe, and they told me, I addressed them. There was a meeting in Greece. What was it? It was Greece, no? In Greece, in Athens. They said, you know, 27% of Europe is under depression. They say in the coming 8 years, it can go up to 48. And they said, Guruji, you know, we can't feed the entire population Prozac. And it doesn't work for too long. It works for some time, and then again, you take even 10 pills, it doesn't work. You get immune to it. We have to find alternative ways. Then they asked me to show, and then, you know, we have done some research in All India Institute of Medical Science and All India Mental Health and Neurosciences Institute of Government, that breathing pattern, breathing exercise of Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama can eliminate depression, mental tension, stress, and it is working very well. I know by experience millions of people have enjoyed it, experienced it, but science has also authenticated it by systematic research. So learning about our breath can help us in many ways. First, I would say, is it creates a crime-free or violence-free society. You know, when we have taught this program in many prisons, you know what the prisoners say? Why didn't you teach us before? Otherwise, we would not have come into the prison. This is the question everyone asks. Oh, I didn't know how to handle my emotion, otherwise I would not have been here where I am today, you know. So a crime-free society, disease-free body, quiver-free breath. Have we noticed sometimes our breath goes very shaky? Many of our problems come through the irregular breathing patterns. Quiver-free breath, confusion-free mind, inhibition-free intellect. Often the mind is inhibited, It has an opinion, image about somebody, but then it changes. And many times we are not aware of how it changes. Are you with me? Do you notice that our opinion about people all the time change? Yeah? Few minutes you have an opinion, and 1 hour later your opinion is different, 2 hours later your opinion is different, right? So our inhibition-free intellect, trauma-free memory, and sorrow-free soul. I feel this is a birthright of every individual. I repeat once again. Violence-free society, we all want violence-free society. I think we are very fortunate in Finland. There is no violence. It's a very peaceful and most honest society. India has to learn a lot from Finland. As far as corruption-free society, I'm so happy you have a lot to teach. You are a leader in the world to teach how you can be a very honest, corruption-free society. Crime-free society, the world needs that. There is so much violence, street violence, not too far away from here. Right down in Paris, you see how much violence has happened. So these people who are engaging themselves in violence need a help. And I would say inside every culprit there is a victim crying for help. If you heal that person, teach them how they can manage their anger and aggression, they will talk better, they will understand things better, they will be dynamic, much more dynamic. So, violence-free society, disease-free body. When we do some breathing exercises, the Sudarshan Kriya and all, our immune cells in the system multiplies 3 times more. This is again scientific research what I am speaking about. Our immune cells are so high, become so high that you don't get prone to disease too soon, too quickly. T cells increases. So, disease-free body, quiver-free breath, confusion-free mind, inhibition-free intellect, trauma-free memory, and sorrow-free soul. This is my definition of a healthy man and a healthy person in a healthy society. And we all have to join together and see how we can bring this, how we can dream about such a society which is free from violence. See, today our society is clogged with so much of violence, terrorism and all that. This is because we have not globalized wisdom. I would say we need to globalize wisdom, isn't it? When a child grows up thinking only I go to heaven, everybody else go to hell, then the child is going to create problem for everybody. And that's what is happening, Every child, I feel that if every child has been educated in a broad spectrum of education, he cannot become a terrorist. He or she cannot grow into a narrow-minded fanatic or fundamentalist. So we need to basically put that in the education system. Consider everybody as part of your family. They may be different religion, different race, different culture, nationality, so what? They are all part of you, part of your own family. That broad vision has to be promoted in the world. I feel this is lacking in our education system, isn't it so? Multicultural, multi-ethnic, tolerant and a progressive attitude in education. For example, you see in your generation when you studied, what were the values and what are the values that are there today? You find there is a big difference, right? That sense of respecting each other, honoring each other, working with each other is what is needed today the most. Otherwise, even if a small part of the globe is left in darkness, the world cannot be a safe place, because we live in a global village. Isn't that so? Huh? I usually give an example. We accept food from every part of the world, right? We eat Danish cookies, Chinese food. How many of you eat Chinese food, like Chinese food here? See, and Italian pizza, pasta, Indian food. So we have globalized food. We have globalized technology. We have globalized clothing and music too. People listen all sorts of music everywhere. In the same way, we have to globalize wisdom also. I felt there is a strong need for this. Just by eating Chinese food, we don't become Chinese. In the same way, if someone does yoga, they don't become Indian. Or meditation. So all this knowledge which is available in the world belongs to everybody, to the whole world, because mankind has to be viewed as one global society. Don't you think so? What do you say? Huh? When this sense is lacking, then there is war, there is tension, there is stress, and there is all sorts of distension. Now, coming back to the leadership point, there are two things. One is motivation and the other is inspiration. You have employees in your companies, in your business. So you give them a raise, you motivate them, give them an increment. What do you say, bonus or increment? We call it increment in India. Huh? Incentive. Every year you raise the little bit more, incentive or increment. The effect of it is short-lived. Okay, you give them something more and they work well for a few days, few months maybe. But then they go back to the same lethargic attitude. I don't know whether that exists here. It does exist in the third world countries. People, even in Spain and Portuguese and all, there is a tendency, mañana. Mañana, we'll do it later. But if they are inspired from within, they work better. Motivation is short-lived, it comes from outside. Inspiration is that something comes from within and it has long life. So when we inspire people in our workplaces, they do excellent job. They do really, really good job. So we have done this workshop in many, many companies around the world, what we call APEX, Achieving Personal Excellence. In the World Bank, in Shell Oil Company, in many places, you should see the result of it. It's amazingly beautiful result. People have energy, they have motivation, they have enthusiasm, they have that inspiration to do work, and there is a sense of belongingness. Because now they know how they can handle the stress. If the stress level comes up, they know how to calm that down. Bangalore, where I come from, where we have our international headquarters, it's called IT city. I have a different name for IT. IT, I say, as inner transformation. So inner motivation, inner transformation. And that happens to people. So it would be very, very useful for people to learn something about their breath. I say there are 4 sources of energy. First is food, that we all know. If we don't believe food is a source of energy, we have to fast 1 or 2 days. Then it becomes our experience. Second is sleep. This we all know. If we don't sleep well, we can't work well. Third is the breath, which we have not attended to, because nobody taught us about the breath. Fourth is meditative mind, or a calm, serene mind. This is the fourth source of energy, meditative mind. We are made up of both matter and spirit, correct? Our body is made up of amino acid, carbohydrate, protein, all this. The spirit is made up of joy, peace, love, compassion, cooperation, knowledge, wisdom, all these qualities, right? Anything which enhances these spiritual quality means compassion, love, friendliness, brilliance, intelligence, knowledge, logic, music. I would call it all spiritual. Anything that takes you from violence to non-violence, from darkness to joy, from a narrow-mindedness to a broad-mindedness, I would call spiritual. Yeah? So anything that uplifts the spirit. There are certain qualities which dampens the spirit, make you inertia. That is not spiritual. For example, drugs, drug abuse, violence, and alcoholism. All these things dulls the spirit. There is no life in them. But anything that uplifts the life, spirit, is compassion, service, joy. If you just sit and think all the time, what about me, what about me, what about me, you'll get depressed. In fact, this is a technique to get depressed. But if we care for others, that is spiritual. Take care of the environment, take care of the world, take care of children, take care of whatever capacity we have. That is all part of spirituality. Service is part of spirituality. Meditation, because in meditation you start releasing the stress and you start the source of love. You love yourself and you love everybody. So meditation is a basis of spirituality. So I said every leader can take a few minutes and relax, meditate, and do service in which he doesn't think, what do I get from doing the service? No? Not wanting to get something, but wanting to give, share, and be part of others. Yes?
You said something about impulsiveness and that a leader should avoid impulsiveness. Is that always so? Could that be wrong?
Yes. Yes. If you are impulsive, you put off people very fast. If you have control over yourself, you won't take hasty decision, you don't react impulsively. You listen to both sides of the story and take decision when the mind is quite calm. One of the techniques we teach in this Apex course is that whenever you have an important decision, leave that 15 seconds gap, and then, some techniques are, just take a couple of deep breaths in, then your decision never goes wrong. Most of the time. There may be exceptions. Yeah?
Hello, I am Maria Björnberg. I'm a political decision maker here in Helsinki. Our school system is very good, but the children are not feeling very well. How do you think that your teachings or or what you are speaking about could help our children to feel better about themselves and more at peace?
I have designed the program, perhaps did you see about that? I call it the art excellence, all-round training in excellence. Children through games, they start feeling better and learn something for their life. One of the things I tell child is to make one new friend every day. You know, if you ask a child how many friends you have in your classroom, they'll count on the fingers. If a child is not able to be friendly with 30, 40 kids in the classroom over a period of 1 or 2 years, how is the child going to be friendly with millions of people when it grows up? Right? So we have to teach them to make friends, how to make friends. How to make one new friend every day makes a child more vibrant. And children also are very much concerned about failures or lack of success. We should not burden them with that. We have to teach them how to laugh and let go. Okay, something works well, good. If it doesn't work, okay, then also keep smiling, you know. That principle we teach them that makes them from inside so strong, so strong. Yes, of course, food has a part to play, but it's not a precondition. You know, even without that, whatever is your food habit, you can start meditating, you can breathe, you can do all the spiritual practices. They are complement each other, there's vice versa. So then automatically you will feel, you know, the craving for particular type of food is going down. If your body gets adjusting itself to, you know, its natural requirements.
My name is Titta Brunner. I think it's okay without microphone. I would love to believe in a non-violent society, and you mentioned that you have been teaching in prisons. How lasting are the results you gain in prisons? You know, when the prisoners, when the inmates leave the place, what happens? Do they go back to their old habits, or?
Yeah, largely what we have seen is when they have learnt in the prison and over the period of time, the prisoners, the prison officials have reported to us that they are totally different people. There is a big change in their behavior, in their attitude, in the way they want to look at life. Now, for this reason, many times the police officers bring those prisoners who are outside, who are not yet in the prison, but who are the what we call in India as rowdy sheeters, because antisocial elements. They bring them for a week to undergo the training. Get rehabilitated very well because they go and do medical camps, they go cleaning campaign, they do all the service activity. But we don't know 100% whether everybody is on that line or not. Maybe some people whom we don't know, we haven't kept track of them when they are out of the prison, because now we have about 200,000 people who have done it. So, but most of them, 99%, what we know is that they have maintained their change. Yeah, maintained their change. I want to share one Al-Qaeda man who was in the Bombay prison. He was given the task of bombing Westminster Bay and Heathrow Airport. So he was about to board the plane and the police caught him in Bombay and he was put in a Bombay prison. And when the course happened in Bombay, after that he wrote a letter. It is a very heartwarming letter. He said, All these days I thought when I kill people I'll go to heaven, but now I find that heaven is here when we love people. This is his very words. In this 6-day of course in the prison, I learned a big difference. I learned now it's in loving people, the heaven is right here. I don't need to go to heaven and first kill people and go and find enjoyment somewhere else. You know, and then when he was, that same prisoner did the advanced Part 2 course also in Bombay prison. And his letter, he confessed. Before that they were denying. Later on he confessed, yes, I went to Australia, took this much money, and then I went to Pakistan, took training, and then I was about to do this job. I would like to train more teachers, of course, everywhere. Today some people came from Latvia, Lithuania, and also Estonia, and Russia too this afternoon. They were sharing their experiences in those places, how people's attitude changed, they become so friendly and all the fear vanished. I'm planning to train more instructors.
All the American management schools and try to be a good leader after that. Then next step, which is talked about in this pamphlet here, is empowerment, the sustainable development solutions, and just as well dialogue, which are much more of the thing you have to meet in your work, in the workplace. On the other hand, you are speaking very much about values and values of your mind. How then to be a good leader, I mean, to change your mind from what you learned in universities and become something of what you are there.
That's a very challenging question. That's a beautiful question too. Many business schools come and study our model. Our model has become a place of study in Harvard School, and many business schools, they come to India and they study how this art of living has spread all over with so many places and so many people getting benefit. Itself is a success story. We too have a business school that runs in Goa. I don't see there is a contradiction between many things that you study with what I am saying, but this is an addition to what people study in the business school. The core heart of the business is missing, that is the human relationship, interaction, or observing your own mind and not take impulsive decision, which is vital core, which has been missed in many cases. So this is a very value added things for, the knowledge that one gets it. See, United Nations Millennium Goal, they had called for a program, UNMC, against poverty, stand up, speak out against poverty. In just matter of 2 months, 7.5 million people around the world stood up from leaders in the Art of Living group. People just stood up and they all, helped the United Nations. And United Nations was extremely happy. Said like countries like Panama and Costa Rica, because there was inspiration from within. So they all joined hands, said we will all join hand and do something. Every religion has got 3 aspects. One is symbols, customs and traditions, symbols and values. And value is what I call a spirituality. So we have left the spirituality and are holding on to just symbols and customs, and that is where people are fighting with each other. It's become a source of conflict. especially in the Middle East and in the West. In the East, that is not a problem. There are 6 religions in the East: Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, Taoism, Shintoism. And there has never been a conflict between these 6 religions. If you go to Japan, there has never been a religious riots or problem between Shintoists and Buddhists. Never. But the problem has all arisen in Jerusalem, in Israel and this area, though all the 3 religions come from the same Abrahamic tradition. There is something seriously wrong that we have to correct, we have to tell, we have to teach and bring the understanding. There is no point in fighting. I think through interfaith dialogues, interfaith meetings, understanding, it will be solved. Do you see what I am saying? There has not been enough interfaith dialogues of cooperation and accommodation. That would solve that problem. And spirituality, moving from religion to spirituality is what I would advise. I would say every child should be taught a little bit about all the religions of the world. Then a child will not have an inhibition. Do you see that, what I am saying? He should have a sense of respect for all. That will come when he studies a little bit about all the religions. When a Hindu talks to a Christian, he should feel at home. And a Christian talks to a Buddhist, he should feel he is part of me. That understanding can come when we give multi-religious education. What do you say? Yeah? Little bit about everything. Absolutely care for the environment. Part of your spirituality. If you cut one tree, you have to take permission with the tree beforehand, that he promised the tree that you will plant 5 of the same variety. Then you have right to cut the tree. So this is in ancient tradition. They always respected mountains, rivers, trees. But this is to be put into practice. I totally agree with you. We should honor the nature. We are part of nature, right?
My name is Lisa Aurelian, and I'm an environmental psychologist, and you took part of my question. I wanted to know, what's the role of the environment when you do the meditation? Does it, if you do the meditation or breathing exercises in a not a very good environment, is it more difficult than, for instance, today when we have quite a nice environment? And then a second question, going to the meditation, does it automatically bring out these good values, or do we need something else than just breathing exercises?
It automatically brings out the good values. Human nature is akin to an atomic structure. In the atom, the positive proton and neutrons are in the middle, and the negative charged electron is only in the circumference. Similarly, every human being from deep within are beautiful. If they are wrong, if they are negative, it is because of the outer shell. So that will automatically drop when someone goes deep inside. And nature, honoring nature is absolutely essential. You know, I have made several talks on these subjects and this, and also about emotions. There is a book called Celebrating Silence and one on Celebrating Love. If you pick up them, I have made many points. Fear, hatred and love, these are all different emotions. How these emotions come in you, how you can change negative emotion into positive emotion is very much a mechanics. It's very much a technique which everyone can learn. It's nothing too difficult. You know, it just needs a little bit of time. If you learn Sudarshan Kriya, this fear, these things definitely leaves you. And you can, even if it comes up in you, you know how to handle it. In 5 minutes, you'll be out of that anxiety, fear, tension. So, any amount of understanding will not help, but techniques do help there. So just reading books is not sufficient. A few minutes of meditation uplifts that spirit. Okay? So I am done. Thank you very much.